What's up, folks? Casual Dad here, and I wanted to take a minute to jump into Overwatch 2 and talk a little bit about playing as kind of a mid-range player. Most of the advice out there is from more professional players, streamers, really, really good players, and coaches, and they'll give you like the top-tier advice, right? I am coming out of just starting in the game to where I really feel successful, and wanted to go ahead and kind of share some of the advice that I had served me well. So my personal favorite role is tank. I really, really love playing tank because of the impact you can have on the game, and in particular because I like supporting the rest of my team, which is why you'll also see me switch into support. But as tank, I personally find that I'm particularly good at bullying squishies, making space, and protecting my team so that we achieve success together, which is a really satisfying way to play. What you're going to see here is me playing Circuit Royal as support, and one of the reasons I wanted to spectate this game, even though my personal favorite role is tank, is that I recommend that any player who starts play some support, especially if you want to play tank, but just in general. Now, the biggest reason being, and I'm going to go ahead and pause this real quick. The biggest reason being, and I'm actually going to rewind this just a little bit, that as support you get the best view of the game. You're playing backfield a little bit, and I'm going to just watch this again. So you're playing backfield a little bit, and so you get a better sense of what other players are doing, and you get to kind of see the maps and see interactions from a distance. So that lets you participate, but then also really learn how the game works. And so I wanted to go ahead and watch this. So Orisa's the tank, this big chunker in front of me. I'm as Lucio, I'm just making space, playing hard to the objective, and here our team is getting flanked. There's a bunch of stuff behind going on. Our tank is way up ahead. That tank is just all in the bushes. All like not paying attention to the objective, not paying attention to what's going on with the team. Team is getting cut to ribbons behind them, and the tank didn't see that at all because they were so far ahead. Then did come back there, and that's good. But the only reason the payload is pushed this far is because I was pushing it. Because most of our team is too far back, tank is too far forward. I'm kind of in the middle, you know, doing a thing. And I wanted to highlight this play, right? Tank died because it was alone in front of 3 people and couldn't be healed that much. And because the other team had taken the high ground behind us and just was completely taking apart both the rest of the team and the tank. But yes, so learning to play tank is really helpful because you're on the front, you're the most impactful role, you're the most durable role, and you get some of the best toolboxes of any of the heroes out there. And of course, it's again a really great way to play team games. But I especially wanted to highlight this game because there are a lot of cases where our tank is doing decent play, but is just not aware of what's going on. Like extremely low health, the team is not here to back them up. Like they had a soldier behind them the whole way, and as support, I could have played better to clear that soldier, but still, the point is like be aware of what's going on. And it's a lot easier to do that if you've kind of seen the game and understood it from a different perspective than just tank. But again, I love playing tank. The thing is you do get tunnel vision where you're like, I'm going to chase this down, I'm going to chase this objective, I'm going to dive down that choke, I'm going to clear this thing. And you want to be aware of what all is going on outside of just the tank play. Now, an interesting side note on this is actually from Season 9, I believe. I don't think this was, excuse me, I think this was Season 8. And I'm actually surprised this replay is still up because we're into Season 9 now. But this might have been Season 9. It wouldn't make sense that it would still be out. But there was a balance patch that applied after this that definitely was after this. And I didn't expect to still have this. But anyway, also going into this, so the tank is way too deep. The team is not pushing the objective at all. And I'm just like, I should be up front, but someone's got to push this thing. And so I jump on it and push it. Which is not exactly what Lucio is supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be in there helping. But also, look at these silhouettes. I'm just rewinding again. Sorry for the confusion. Like I said, just getting up into this. But okay, so Bastion's here. Tank goes in. Bastion has to back because he's low health. I top him off. But then their entire team is up there. And our tank is up there by himself, not paying attention to what's going on. I'm not going to say this player was a bad tank. They were a fine tank. But the entire game, they were doing that, 1v5, and yelling at the top, all caps, top of their lungs, I need heals, while totally ignoring the mission, and just doing that right there. Dying, trickling, and then the rest of the team here is kind of cleaning up the mess. But again, this is something that's really, really easy to do as tank. You're in the front, you're pushing, you're making space. You're like, I am in the front. Why isn't my team following me? You wouldn't really get the full view of this game unless you watch the replay. Or play as support and get a chance to see like what could have happened better here, right? So that Orisa is a good Orisa, but could have been hanging back even a little bit And this part would have happened sooner with the tank alive. And there is the tank catching up now. Instead of we getting very lucky that our damage and support players over here were holding down the line. And they're here. I was playing Lucio, trying my best to keep up with this tank, but also push the objective, because it's important. You win by pushing the objective. And we're doing okay here. But again, so just like to really distill the point I'm just trying to make here, and I'll say it again at the end. Play tank, but alternate with other roles, especially support. And now for me, I've been playing first-person shooters for a very long time, including team-based first-person shooters and, you know, basically all games of this flavor. And I still find Overwatch 2 particularly challenging. I'm still not sure why. It could be the aim, it could be the motion, something to do with the animations, I don't know. But for whatever reason, and there I saved the Bastion, very proud of that. I don't think I saved him forever, but I did. Look at that. Nope, not forever. And I should have stayed out there to actually poop them off the high ground here too. My bad. But anyway, so I play a lot of these games, and I do find that Overwatch 2 is particularly challenging as a shooter, not sure why. So I actually would strongly recommend, if you're starting the game, play damage last. Get a handle on at least one support and at least one tank. So here, I wanted to highlight this. In there, basically 1v5. Now the rest of the team is just not there. It's me, and I mean I'm here trying to boot people into the hole. But we're not going to save this. Now I don't know where the rest of our team is. Maybe they're dead, maybe they're too far back, I don't know. But the thing is, the tank should know that and not be doing what they're doing right there, because that just gets us killed. And I really tried. Really tried. And even there, I should have run like heck, and then our Bastion came in and supported. So, but yes, so do alternate, and definitely, I personally strongly recommend mastering at least one tank and at least one support before getting into the damage role, because damage has, I believe, the highest number of heroes total, or it's very close, if not the highest, and can be particularly challenging because a lot of them require very fast reflexes and really, really accurate aim, which is just not always possible in the way that you're used to in most other games like this. Proud of that. And I do personally really like Orisa, because she's really good at controlling space. The Javelin is great for actively moving heroes around, so Orisa's a really good standby. Season 9 is a little bit of a challenging time to play Orisa, because she takes a lot of damage much more quickly than before. But that also means this is a really good time to start, because if you started in previous seasons, you'll have bad habits like that. Running in alone and ulting in the middle of the entire team, like whereas if you start in the current season, you'll understand that tanks are not totally invincible, and that they can lose, or that you can't do that anymore. And our Bastion actually went in there and tried to support that, but it was just too deep, too fast. But yeah, I'm getting distracted. This is the problem with Overwatch 2. It's an active enough game that I lose track of what I'm saying as I'm saying it, because there's so much going on. But yeah, DPS, yes, there it was. So damage is the most varied role. It takes a while to get used to. The aim and the reflexes are especially challenging in damage. And you still have really effective games and a lot of fun playing as support and tank. With tank being, again, the most impactful and the least played. So if you become a really good tank, you're going to be very, very popular. Because everybody needs a good tank, and it's something that you just don't see as often as you could. I never did manage to boop anyone in one of those holes. Save the soldier. I missed the Orisa on that one, but it was close. And then the Symmetra turrets were getting us the whole time, and I never managed to get it out. That's not a hole. Shame on me. I should realize that's not a hole. Of course it's not. I stood on it in the other half of this match. But yes, so we're just going to watch this out. I'm going to talk a little bit more specifically about this match, but the key takeaway is play tank, play support. So you see both ends of the game. Great places where you have utility kits that are a little bit easier to get into than the damage role. And then from there, you can start sprinkling in other heroes and learn how to play more. And I personally played a lot of different heroes. And there's a tank dead again. Yeah, and I would normally not be this critical of a tank player, but this tank player kept doing the same thing and also was being a real jerk about it. Yelling in all caps, heal me with me, and then diving in the worst possible suicidal fashion that there's no way we could help with that. So, no. And I don't know why I dove in here. I shouldn't have done that. But, because that happened. That's my bad. But anyway, yeah, so the biggest thing is you want to understand the game, you want to play the game, you want to see kind of what's going on, you want to understand the objectives and the maps, and that's easiest to do from the front and the back, particularly support. And especially if you want to play tank, um, it's really good to have that perspective from support. And if you want to play support, it's a nice break to play as tank. So you have that very, very effective, like, driving the game. Whereas as a support, you can sometimes feel like you're not actually impacting the outcome. You, of course, supports are incredibly helpful to the game, but you don't feel it as much as you do when you're, in the front punching stuff. And this should jump to me in a second. And now I will admit, so we won that. We were able to push the objective all the way through. But reasonably, we should not have. Just because we were completely disorganized, and it wasn't necessarily that any one player was bad. It's just that all of us were on different wavelengths. Our damage and the other support were playing a little bit back, which is fine. They were playing efficiently and still progressing just fine, and our tank was playing maximum full forward all the time. And that can work, but you just need to pay attention to what the rest of your team is doing. And that is true no matter what role you're playing, no matter what game you're playing, no matter what map. You want to keep an eye on the rest of your team, because most of the time you're not going to have that comms chat, you're not going to be actively talking with people. You have to learn to anticipate the moves and kind of see what other people are doing and where they're struggling. A lot of that is actually reacting to the enemy team. So the enemy team dives, they do a push. You can look and see what their abilities are and then use that to kind of determine how you're going to react to that. It's better to do that and also be proactive and see when one of your players dives in, one of your players drops an ultimate ability, to kind of see what's going on and use that as a way to adapt to the changing game. And now here I really like Zen. I'm a decent Zen player, I should say. And here I just was not paying attention to flankers at all. And also, I don't know if I had the healing orb on Orisa. I think I did, yeah. And the Discord on, and then of course got flanked. And then switch back. And then, oh yeah, there we go. And I shouldn't necessarily have switched back, but I did. Oh look, our tank is dead.
We are outnumbered. Be cautious.
And again, I'm being a little extra snarky towards this tank because the tank was a jerk. And I don't like calling people out for that, but also you can't just get no consequences for being a jerk, I suppose. But anyway, so just to kind of recap here, on this map, so on offense, we pushed all the way to the back. We got right to that final objective, and this is something that now the opposing team is trying to do as well. They're trying to match the progression that we had, drop the healing on the tank, using walls, using cover a bit, and I'm not as good at using cover as I should be. I think I did an okay job on this match, but again, our tank is right in front. Our team is doing a decent job of being a little bit conservative, using cover. He's not using cover at all. Not behind anything, not in line of sight of the supports, just getting absolutely clobbered out there, and there's nothing we can do to stop that because we can't risk. He's not making enough space for us to get up there and is not safe enough for us to protect him. And it's just what's going on there is a player who has a set way to play, who is doing their thing. I don't know if they're good or not. Maybe they're diamond. Who knows? But who's doing their thing and not paying attention to what the team is doing. And at this point, I got frustrated. And here you can see me get frustrated because I switched to Lifeweaver, who I actually really like, but he's a character I go to, and here you see me get lost. This is why you need to know the maps. Lifeweaver is a hero where you really need to know the maps. You need to understand where things are. But he's got automatic high ground with the flower petal. But the biggest reason I did this is because our tank is in there dying again, 1v5ing the entire team. And I did this so that I could do ranged heal, do a bunch of extra damage, give our team high ground, and do that, and save our butts whenever we got low here. So that life grip is absolutely huge. It's a bit of a trolling ability, but is also hugely important in moments like this, where you want to save your team and put extra pressure. And there you can see I used the high ground myself, and used it to... Oh, ouch. Switch to Hog. Interesting call. Not a bad call. Interesting call. And now, at this point, none of us were talking. So the tank had stopped yelling at the top of his lungs and was kind of paying a little bit more attention to team fights, and you can see the difference in dynamic here. Right now, not totally alone. He's got some backup. We've got the team with him because he's not as deep. Part of that is because the opposing team is pushing really aggressively. Part of that is because he's switched playstyles a little bit. But now, right there, he's all the way in back, all by himself, and the objective is on the other side of him, and he died again. Just pay attention to the game, y'all. Pay attention to where you are and what's going on. And I'm saving the soldier again. This soldier was very good. Got real lucky there that I pulled it out, but I don't know if he made it. Nah, but still. And here, the pedal to escape, the pedal to get a high ground, to get a vantage point, to get somewhere else. There's a lot of that. And this, he's going in at half health and diving straight in. What are you doing? There we go. And that is me getting frustrated and being like, hey bro, chill. And I didn't say that, of course, but not in so many words. We're like, hey, we are back here, you should be back here too. And non-verbal communication, that is an excellent way to kind of keep the game going. Here I am kind of healing. Drop the life, or drop the tree. Whew, man, that was close. It is always funny watching these replays, because you still feel like, yeah, blue is good, red is bad, but if you're on the red team, the replay's red. But here, I love this, because you get the instant high ground, and people don't expect an aggressive Life Weaver using a pedal to kind of flank. They don't expect a stuffing Reaper, either. Oh, I was proud of that. Yeah. Life Weaver's not the best for doing damage or doing healing. It could be higher on both, but is not bad at either. And I really like the flexibility and especially the speed. And that life grip is absolutely clutch. If you use it well, you respect your team, you understand where they are, Life Weaver's an excellent piece to understand because you know when someone needs to be saved and when you should let them be. Because you don't want to pull someone out when they're in the middle of something, you don't want to pull them into a more dangerous situation, but you do want to pull them out if need be. Like here, I didn't need to pull them out because it was okay, but in a minute, I might have. But here we're doing really well. So see, coordinating as a team, and look at the difference. Our tank has been up forever, damage is doing a bunch of work, like everything is going really well, and I'm actively protecting and saving players here. Like we have this choke point down, and it's a completely different level of play than we had before. And this match is a really good one to show. I wanted to show the change. Because early on, you saw a disorganized team kind of split up and doing their different thing in different directions, right? And now you're seeing a coordinated team doing a really good job working together and actually defending. So like you can see our Reaper and our tank, our Zarya, are doing an awesome job together holding this point and coordinating in a way that they weren't before.
This ends now.
And here I should have called out that there was a Widowmaker over there, and I don't think anyone saw them. But still, and you can see the other team starting to get more coordinated too. And that's one of the great things about these games, these team-based coordinated team fights, because if you're playing against a coordinated team, you will tend to be a more coordinated team as well, which is phenomenal. Just seeing the roles played correctly in different ways, like I understand why people get annoyed about bronze and want to progress up the skill ladder. I get it. But at the same time, this is placement matches. A lot of us are probably bronze. I later got my placement matches and am confirmed to be bronze. And that's Widow started making a real hell for us. But again, so here, you see that tank all by himself up there, didn't realize the Widow flanked. You want to be paying attention, right? And now a lot of the time, if you're with a group, the group will tell you, but not always. Wait for it.
Really?
Tank survived. Wow, impressive. Okay.
Surrender
Nope, there it is.
to my will.
And yeah, the reason why is not because of that was a bad play. It was just you need to be aware when your backfield is dying, whether they're calling it out or not. You got to watch for the things and just kind of understand. But again, like the level of play changing from uncoordinated to coordinating is incredibly satisfying. And it's that moment that makes the game really what it is. Like it is a whole different ball game when you start seeing teams cooperate together. And even here we could be a little bit better, but like that was, yeah. Got our Bastion in there. I'm just pumping that tank full of healing, and they're doing a decent job. And our team is close enough to back them up, but like too deep. Way too deep. What are you doing? And I couldn't life grip from there. I think the cooldown was on. Reaper going up to clear the high ground. Yeah, I love it. And the Reaper and tank playing together was really satisfying to see. Because the damage was doing fine, but when the damage was able to get in and do the work along with the tank, that made a massive difference. And that's a big part of what changed our gameplay here. And I think the Zarya pick was good as well. Zarya was a really strong piece. I don't take Zarya against Ramatra, because an aggressive Ramatra will just punch you. But that's actually where Zarya Lifeweaver is a really powerful combo, because Life Grip, because Zarya can get in and be aggressive and not die. So that's a really, really potent piece there, and a really nice piece to kind of complement each other. So Really enjoyed that game. It was incredibly frustrating at the beginning and turned around dramatically at the end, and that's a big part of why I wanted to share that game. Talking is kind of an intro. So I know I just got completely off track, but to go ahead and kind of recap the key parts. So if you want to play as tank, if you want to start out getting good at Overwatch 2, I would start by playing as tank, and then I would switch to support and switch back and forth between the two, because there's a damage aspect to tank and support. There's a support aspect to tank and support, but most of you kind of understand how the game is played from those two roles best, and then you can branch out, where damage is one of the most impactful roles in the entire game, but is only truly effective when you really understand how everything works. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, that was the end of my replay. That's the end of my TED Talk. Hopefully this was fun, and good luck out there.